This podcast is part of Mishmash Media. Hey, Stephen.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. Welcome to episode 2 of season 4 of Curbcast. My name is Ivan, and I said you were Stephen before.
Yes, you did.
So, I'm Ivan, I'm Stephen.
Just in case it wasn't clear, I'm Stephen.
Yes, and I'm Stephen. And I'm Ivan, and you're Ivan.
Whatever.
Everyone's Ivan.
We're all
everyone's
Ivan and we're all Stephen.
In some way or another, yes. We are doing Ben's birthday party. We are attending that birthday party. I hope you put your skewers down. You don't want to poke someone's eye out by mistake, like poor Larry does in this episode. How you doing anyway?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good, man. Pretty good. We're back into the swing of things. We just recorded episode 1 and we're doing episode 2, and it's been a long hiatus, but we are back. Really pumped.
Yeah, no, it feels good to be back in the chair on the mic talking about Cobra Enthusiasm.
Yeah, and hopefully you guys are enjoying yourselves. You can support us through Patreon. You know, we don't have any bonus material at the moment, but, you can do a small donation if you think you're going to help out our very small independent podcast network, Mishmash Media, which we're slowly building.
That's right. And we do have some social media if you want to check out what we're doing. Curbcast Pod is our handle. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit. And we have an email as well, curbcastpod@gmail.com. If you want to get in touch with us and talk about all things Larry, that would be awesome.
That would be amazing. But anyway, enough of those shenanigans. Let's go to the birthday party. Aired in the US on January 11th, 2004. Mel Brooks taps Ben Stiller to be Larry's co-star in The Producers, as we found out last episode. But when Larry accidentally pokes Ben Stiller in the eye at his birthday party, Ben eventually drops out of the production. Got no trivia for the episode. What about you?
No, none this week.
Nothing.
Curb's pretty dry on trivia.
It is. Although we did have a good one last week with Bookman.
That's true.
He played Doctorman.
Dr.
Stethoscopeman.
Yeah.
I think I called him Dr. Stethoscope.
Dr. Stethoscope, something like that.
Something like that. Larry, in the first scene, is practicing his dance moves for The Producers, to the frustration of his dance teacher, who said he has the wrong shoes for training. I'm going to go get them. Larry says he can do the dance a little differently, but the dancer says that's not the choreography. He's one of those outlandish...
Yeah, a very camp.
Dance choreographer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's like, I used to do this as a kid,
Yeah.
and I was able to do it like this. And I love how he's doing like this really complicated tap, and Larry's like, I can just do it this way.
Yeah. He does have a good point when he's like, when it's that fast, no one even notices. No one knows what's going on.
No, of course.
The audience don't care. Like, they just see feet moving fast. They're like, yeah, sure, that looks right.
But the choreographer is such a perfectionist.
Yeah.
And Larry, with his age and he's not really coordinated, it'd be quite difficult for him to figure it out. You might remember this character, Michael the blind man from season 1, the bracelet. Remember the guy who Larry and Richard helped move?
Yeah, he hit him up on the street and had to move his stuff.
All the way back in season 1, would you believe?
Yeah.
He attends, and he apparently is the rehearsal pianist, which stuns Larry. So he's kind of like a Stevie Wonder, a blind pianist.
That's true. I didn't think of that.
It's like that. He walks in with his girlfriend, Rhonda, and he says that he hooked up with a model, and Rhonda in reality is just an average-looking woman.
Yeah, just, not a typical looking model.
Yeah.
Not a typical looking hot model that Mike was after. He wants a fashion model or a swimsuit model or something.
That's right.
She may be a model for something that isn't those things.
Yeah, it might be true.
Who knows?
She could
maybe
be
she's a hand model.
Maybe she's a hand model like George was.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But he believes that she's a typically highly attractive, blonde supermodel or something like that, and she is not.
Reminds me of that Family Guy skit. It was the one where I think it was... What was that movie with the in the 80s with that boy with like the deformed face?
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah, you had like
remember.
that. It was like what was it, elephantitis in the face or something?
Yeah.
And then it was like, it's like that guy with a blind girl as a date, and then the blind woman's like can't see him. She's like, oh, I really love you and all that stuff, and he starts feeling his face.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god,
You're a monster.
Am I touching the side of a barn? It's like, what is this? It's like the time she figures out like his deformities, but you love me for like who I am or something. And she's like, yeah, but this is different. It's like that Family Guy skit. I forgot which. It was like an early Family Guy episode.
I remember the one though.
Yeah. If you remember, it was like that movie from the 80s of that boy with like the deformed head.
Yeah.
And he's got like a blind girlfriend, and she realizes what he's finally like. It kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah. I love how when Michael says to Larry, she's a model, keep your hands off her. And Larry's like, oh, yeah. And he kind of gives her a look and she's like, shut up.
Yeah.
They don't say anything, but there's an exchange with their eyes.
And Ben Stiller walks in and he gets introduced to Michael and Rhonda. And Michael says, hey, Ben, hands off.
Yeah.
I love how Ben just like forgets and just turns to Larry and says,
he
birthday party.
He doesn't even say anything.
No,
he doesn't even go, okay. Or like
he just brushes it off.
He just sort of has a look of like, and then just, straight away.
And then he's like, so I'm inviting him all to my birthday party.
Yeah.
So, Ben says his birthday was 2 weeks ago, but Christine, his wife, had something on and was away, so couldn't do it. And Michael goes on the piano to begin rehearsals as the scene cuts.
Michael's a really good pianist.
He is. He's very good.
When Ben
Not good with show tunes, though.
No.
As we see later.
No, but he's a very skilled pianist.
He is.
I think you would have to be a high caliber professional to work on a production of this quality. So
Yeah.
I did, preemptively as well. I did know that when Larry was giving Ben a bit of shit about having a birthday, 2 weeks after the birthday, when he started, drilling down on that a bit and going like, what, why would you do that? I'm like, that's going to be the ongoing, issue that Larry has throughout this episode.
Yes.
That he just can't get his head around. So,
No.
you can pick it up straight away.
And then Larry and Ben, their relationship just really fades here.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't much to begin with, but what was there is just, by the end of this episode, is just kaput.
Well, it gets to the point where Ben quits the production entirely. So they got to find a replacement. Larry and Richard are out for lunch, and he's telling the end of Michael's story regarding Rhonda. Richard asks Larry to get his old friend and fake niece Kim to get out of a breast job. He then asks Larry if he wants to talk about anything as she walks in the door. Kim asks Larry to look at her show reel as she's an aspiring actress, and this kind of gave me like Harvey Weinstein kind of vibes, especially like the later, it's like, I want to be a star.
Yep.
And then it's like, because we'll talk about Kim a little bit more in like the scene with her breasts.
Yeah. Yep.
But I think this is kind of like, she thinks that she just wants to meet Larry just to try and get a foot in the door. Because she moved from interstate, she came to LA to become an actress.
Right.
And a singer and stuff. And she knows Larry wrote Seinfeld. She's like, hey, do you reckon you could kind of,
When you say Harvey Weinstein, do you mean that, she's do you mean that she's naive, or that Larry could potentially use that to his advantage and sort of...
I probably shouldn't have mentioned. It's probably too early in the episode, but I'll probably talk about it more in the episode with Larry and Kim with the breasts. It just popped into my head, but I was thinking, this is too early in the piece. I'll explain it when we get to that scene.
Okay.
But anyway, I'll unravel all that kind of stuff.
All right.
But Kim, I mean, she seems bubbly. She's Richard's niece, quote unquote.
Yeah, his friend Kenny. His
friend Kenny. That's
his
right.
daughter.
That's right. His daughter. Yeah, and Kenny doesn't want her to get the boob job. But we find out she got it within an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
Express.
in and out.
Yeah. Drive-through boobs.
Drive-through silicon. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Larry at the end of this scene as well really puts his foot in it. I can't remember what he says exactly.
He says that Anna Nicole Smith, she has some big breasts, doesn't she? And then Richard just turns around in shock.
He's just like,
So I was just going to say Larry mentions Anna Nicole Smith's breasts, which cause negative reactions from Richard and Kim.
Mentioning Anna Nicole Smith really places this episode into
the
time,
2000s, huh? Yeah. Rest in peace, Anna.
Yeah.
She passed a long time ago. Larry and Cheryl that evening turn up to Ben's party, and everyone has gifts except them. Oh, I forgot to mention, Ben said for his birthday party, no gifts.
Yeah, and he does kind of make a point of it. He's like, don't worry about a gift, no gifts. Right. And turns out that he didn't mean what he said.
That's right, which, again, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. We'll talk about that in that scene. Jeff and Susie arrive, and because Jeff and Susie are back together, they seem amicable. Like, they seem happy-ish together, like they get along.
Yeah.
I feel like they're more like friends. They probably don't have sex. They probably don't be intimate too much.
It might just be, a live-in co-parenting situation.
Yeah, just for Sammy. Yeah.
Yeah,
for the daughter, yeah.
I mean, there might be some love there, but it doesn't seem like they're fully back to maybe, the best parts of their relationship.
Probably not.
But, a lot of the time that can take time.
Yeah, they seem more chummy than they have the last couple of seasons, definitely. Like we saw in season 2, Jeff gets kicked out.
Yep.
And then he's got to stay in a hotel for most of the season,
yep.
And all that stuff. So it's kind of, they're kind of healing old wounds, kind of. Jeff and Susie say that they brought a gift for Ben. They wish Ben a happy birthday as he and Christine walk up to them. Larry he grabs a chicken skewer, like a kebab stick, and he eats it before they arrive, and he's holding on to it, and he asks them what to do with the stick. Christine says you can just put it on a table or a girl will come round and pick it up or whatever. They begin chatting as Larry says he feels weird holding his stick. Susie tells Larry that she's selling shirts that she's designing, and Larry goes to Michael to say hello. And I love it when, Susie's trying to act all polite and like all that stuff, like, oh yeah, I'm selling shirts and stuff, and Larry's like, oh yeah, that's cool, I'm just going to go see Michael, the pianist. And then you see kind of Susie like, she's like, oh, I've told him about the fucking shirts.
Yeah.
And she's talking to Cheryl and Jeff, and she's like, what the fuck? He just walks off.
I think maybe Susie's realised that, even though Larry is an understandable source of frustration for most people, that part of the tension in their relationship is because of her sometimes overreacting and becoming abusive. Maybe she's trying to tone that down a bit and just be nice to Larry. But obviously it's not the easiest thing to hold on to. Larry walks away and she gets pissed off straight away.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
So she still has those, those feelings towards Larry.
Yeah, I mean, you can't just pave over them, but you've still got to try, I guess. And look, what Larry did was pretty rude.
It was, yeah.
You know,
I mean,
I know he probably doesn't give a fuck about
Susie's venture. Yeah.
But at the same time, you can just pretend to care.
Yeah,
because Jeff's there, your wife's there.
Yeah,
you know, it's a social situation. just tolerate it for 30 seconds and then be like, oh, there's Michael. You know, but he's Larry.
He seems more fascinated by Michael because he goes up to Michael and asks, "Where's Rhonda?" And she goes, "Oh, Rhonda's just parking the car." Michael asks Larry if he wants to go to his gig on Tuesday night. He's doing some show tunes. Michael asks Larry if Rhonda is beautiful, and you think Larry, probably because Larry doesn't know Michael too well. I thought maybe in this episode Larry was like, "Oh, she's beautiful," and maybe
you think he would try and spare his feelings.
No, but she just cuts it off and just goes, "Eh."
Yeah.
Eh.
I think he says, yeah, I wouldn't say that. Or does he just go, eh?
He just goes, eh.
Yeah.
He goes, eh. And then Michael's like, huh? And then he goes, eh. He kind of brings it out a little bit more. And but you think Michael is a bit upset. Like, you think he'd get devastated, but he's like, oh, okay. That's a bit of a surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't seem too bothered.
Nah. Larry says it doesn't matter if she looks like a model or not because he can't see her anyway. So, what's the difference? And Rhonda walks up to them to greet them. At the birthday party, Susie shows Larry and Jeff. They've gone to the cars to pick something up. Susie is outside with Larry and Jeff, and Susie shows Larry her shirts, which are rhinestone encrusted, long sleeve jacket,
sports jerseys,
kind of thing,
like sweaters or sports jerseys.
And I think they're named after sports teams as well.
Right.
Green Bay a Indiana.
Yep.
There's a few NFL teams there. Yeah, so they're sport related, but it's rhinestone encrusted. They look pretty ugly,
pretty weird.
They are. Larry is still holding his stick for his skewer from before, and he says that the shirts are not to his taste. I'm sure others like him, but not him. Susie gets pissed off and goes back to her old ways, saying fuck and all this stuff.
Yeah, on some level, I appreciate how Larry's just being straightforward. He's not being an asshole to Susie. He's not saying your shirts are shit. Why would you even make them?
Yeah.
But he's just saying they're not for me. But
to Susie, it's like an insult.
Yeah, it's a case of Larry is under no obligation to like them. But usually in social situations, you pretend to like your friend's thing, whatever it is. I think I've made this comparison before where I used to play in bands and a lot of my friends played in bands.
Yeah.
And some of those bands were objectively horrible. Garbage. They sucked at their instruments. They were sloppy. They were just, their singer couldn't sing.
Yeah.
But because they're your mate, you go along and see them and they say, hey, how was the set? And you say, oh, it was really good. I wouldn't say, look, you're my friend and I like you, but your music's, it's not for me.
Yeah.
Even if it's not for me.
Yeah.
You still have
you
to...
just say I had fun.
You have to find a way to make them feel good or just sometimes a white lie.
Or if you're a really close friend, you might say, hey, look, your set was all right.
Yep.
But, maybe I can give you some feedback.
Yeah,
but that's you've got to be really close friends, though.
But even then, timing's important. You wouldn't say that immediately.
No. You probably have a chat later.
Yeah. When they're not just coming off the high of doing a live show or really proud of these shirts that they've made or whatever it is. There's a way to just be supportive without being a total liar.
Yeah. They brush off all the rotten fruit and vegetables that got thrown at them because they were shit and the eggs and they go up to you and go, hey, Stephen, what do you think, man?
Yeah. There was always on that, it was sort of an in-joke amongst, bands, I guess, or people that I sort of hung out with where you have to find a way to compliment them without actually complimenting them. So you'd be like, the singer was out of key or they were just having a really bad night. You can't be like, oh, you blew it tonight.
Of course.
You'd say oh, the guitar tone was awesome.
Yeah,
so
you're
not actually, or the mix was great.
Yes.
Or the volume was perfect. You're sort of more complimenting the sound engineer.
Sure.
So you're saying something positive, but you're also not saying that. Yeah,
I get what you mean. You try and find
you're threading a needle,
thing.
Yeah,
you're trying to find one positive thing, and you make them feel good as well.
Yeah, but you're not directly. You're not lying.
No, that's right.
But you're also not being direct.
It's like that.
Yeah.
But Susie tells Larry that Ben likes them. He likes the shirts, but maybe Ben was just being polite.
Yeah, he has taste. Yeah, Ben's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
He would be that sort of
person.
He's
finding the compliment with the
Actually,
compliment.
you know what? Ben is not a nice guy. He's just normal. Larry, we're comparing him to Larry. He's just normal.
He's normal, yeah.
Ben would be again, like I was saying before, even if you find something that your friend does repulsive,
Yeah.
or you don't even understand why they would do it.
Like, exactly.
Being a
perfect
friend,
example, yeah.
to spare their feelings. Obviously, they feel good about it. They get something out of it. You be nice to them.
Exactly.
So Ben, he probably thought, "Oh my god, they're hideous."
But then he says,
but then he's
"Oh,
also like, "Oh, they look great."
Yeah, they
they're-
look great, and good luck. Hope you do well.
Something like that.
That's it.
Yeah, 'cause
you be
that's a
amicable.
normal thing to do.
You be civil.
Yeah.
which Larry isn't civil.
No.
Susie and Jeff get in the car to go find something as Larry heads back to the party with his skewer. Michael is arguing with Rhonda in the background as Larry spots the producer's actress from episode 1. Her name is Katie Huffman from the last episode, the one who he kind of has an attraction to. He's probably thinking in his lizard brain, this is my anniversary fuck.
Yeah.
This one right here. This girl.
And the first time he saw her, she was sort of being provocative,
yes.
sensual and provocative.
In character,
so
yeah. But this time she's just pretty
that's-
chill.
Yeah, but that's his initial thought, and that's what's going to sort of colour, how he thinks of her.
Yeah, but now she's just sitting at the bar. She's pretty chill.
Yeah.
She's out of character.
And I mean,
of course.
she's hot too. So
Oh, she's very pretty. Ben introduces Larry to her as he walks off to go to the toilet. They get in a conversation and it seems amicable for the first 10 seconds. But then Larry says that Ben shouldn't have a birthday 2 weeks after his actual birthday and it shouldn't be done. And then he goes on one of his Larry tirades again. And, Katie at first, you notice the first couple of things, she says, oh, yeah, it's a bit weird, having a birthday 2 weeks later. Yeah, whatever.
Yep.
But then he really, you can't end it there.
yeah,
He's got to keep going.
He's just talking at her. He's not talking to her.
Yes, and then Katie just changes. She looks more awkward.
Yep.
And she's just like, ugh.
Yeah.
And she seems unimpressed and says, nice to meet you, Larry.
Yep.
And she walks off and she's
Yeah.
like, fuck, I got to work with this guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a pain in the ass. So,
Yeah.
So she's
She's-
not a good start.
No, she's not very keen.
She probably won't be the 10th anniversary shag.
No. Well, who knows?
Oh, who knows? Things might happen. Susie is playing telephone at a table with some kids. Telephone is, I guess, what we used to call Chinese whispers.
I think we do still call it Chinese whispers. do
I
we?
thought that was the politically incorrect term.
I don't
They
know.
call it that?
I'm not saying it is or isn't. I just haven't heard.
I don't know.
I just haven't heard whether it is or isn't.
But that's what it is.
okay.
But it's telephone.
Telephone.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll call it telephone because that's what it's called in this episode.
Yeah, so for those at home who don't know what any of those games are,
Yeah.
that's the one where you're with mates in a circle. It's usually a kid's game. A kid starts off with a sentence, whispers it to the other person, who then whispers and whispers and whispers, and the message can either deliberately or accidentally get changed, and the last person says what it was.
Yeah. The point is that it needs to be as close to the original message as possible.
That's right.
Yeah, and
Yes.
but sometimes there's funny alterations, or it's just been slowly lost in translation along the way, and it turns out to be something wacky.
Or people deliberately
Yeah.
do something, Larry asks if he can play. One of the kids offers him their seat. The next message goes around the table as Larry. So it goes around the table, and Larry, I think, is third last or second last.
Second or third, yeah.
Second or third. He whispers. So a waitress comes, a buxom a waitress with a bit of cleavage, and Larry is saying the line to the kid next to him as he's he's looking at the girl.
Yep.
And then the kid says out loud, "I love tits." And then all the kids, of course, start laughing. And Susie is, she's very angry. She's like, "Why would you say that in front of children? You're sick, Larry. You're sick." She's doing a G-rated version of Susie.
Yeah.
No expletives, no curse words,
Yeah.
none of that stuff. It's just G-rated Susie.
Yep.
PG rated. Yeah, Susie berates Larry, who blames him for it. He blames the kid next to him for saying, "I love tits." And he goes, "What did you say?" And the kid goes, "I love pigs."
Yeah, Larry refuses to take responsibility. There's no way that kid would have said, "I love tits."
No way. And then
he's
Cheryl's
staring at giant tits,
and he says, "I love tits."
and he just loves tits anyway.
He does.
of course. So
Tit mouse.
Yeah,
And Cheryl's watching on and says, "Come on, Larry, we've got to go say happy birthday."
yeah,
So it's Larry. So obviously the kid said, "I love pigs."
yeah.
Yeah. And it was Larry that said, "I love tits."
Yeah.
And he's blaming the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had tits on his mind and it was in his face. So yeah. I love tits. I just love how the kids just start laughing.
Yeah.
They're loving
Giggle.
it.
Yeah,
Giggles.
as
Yeah.
you do. I still laugh at immature words. If someone says, I don't know, erect,
Yeah.
I'm going to erect a tent. I still, even if it's just to myself in my mind, I'm just like,
Your
erect.
butthead brain comes in.
Basically, yeah, that just shaped how I react to, permanently shaped how I react to immature words. Or
You
words that
said erect.
basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this exam's really hard. Hard.
Hard.
It's a bit wet out. Out.
Everyone says happy birthday to Ben, except Larry. Cheryl asks why Larry didn't sing. He says, "I don't like the happy birthday
Yeah,
song."
it makes me feel awkward.
Yeah.
I'm self-conscious.
And you can notice as well, because it cuts to Ben blowing out the candles, and you can see Ben looking in Larry's direction, if you notice.
Yeah.
That'll come into play in a later scene.
Yeah.
But you can see Ben just, kind of looking at him. Yeah. Because he's probably realised that Larry didn't provide him a gift.
Yeah.
So he's probably found out.
Yeah, it's giving him side eye anyway.
Yeah, he's got massive side eye, 1,000-yard stare, that one.
Isn't it funny how Larry, he says, I feel self-conscious about singing happy birthday in front of mostly people he knows.
Yeah.
But he's also willing to accept a lead role on Producers, which is singing on stage in front
That's
of
what I
stages.
was thinking,
it's
actually.
like that doesn't line up, does it?
No,
You know?
if you're an extrovert, you'd probably be out the front going, "Happy birthday!"
Yeah, I mean, Larry's not an
you."
extrovert, but he's comfortable enough to accept a lead role when he has no acting experience. But he's also self-conscious enough to. It's just a bit of a inconsistency, I guess.
Yeah, you think they'd be more extroverted and they'd
Yeah,
be really
yeah.
singing it. Yeah. At the end of the happy birthday, he approaches Jeff and he still has his skewer in his hand. And he shows him, oh, yeah.
I was going to say, at this stage, with the skewer, like, if you've got nowhere to put it and initially hold on to it, wouldn't you just go, well, there's no bowls around, there's no waitress, wait staff around to collect it. I would say, Ben, where is your bin? I will
Yes.
go to the bin and just go to the bin and pop it. Or where is your sink? Like,
Yeah.
you would just take some initiative and find a place to put it. You wouldn't just hold on to it because it's not being taken from your hand.
Or
by
just,
a weight,
yeah. Or
by
just put it on a table.
Just something.
Something,
Like put it in a, like, there's got to be a used cup lying around.
Yeah.
Or just, if there isn't, just say, I would like to dispose of this stick. Where is your kitchen located so I can put it in the trash receptacle?
But-
it's just like
but it's
there's
Larry.
he's just so inept.
He is.
Like, why are you holding on to this thing?
And a lot of stuff he does, he puts it on himself.
Yeah.
Which is what I was just about to say. So he shows Jeff the golf swing and he goes to do the swing and he's got the skewer in his hand, goes straight into Ben's eye,
Yep.
pokes him in the eye. And this Ben kind of falls back and everyone's stunned and he's like, oh, my eye. And it's very awkward.
I got this huge golf tip the other day.
Really? What kind?
Yeah, it's like for the backswing. Okay.
Show me.
It's really working. All right, this is my
Okay.
golf club, okay?
Beautiful golf club.
Okay. Watch this. Okay. Let's say that's the ball, okay? You want to take the club and give it back to the catcher.
Right.
Give it to the catcher.
Right.
Here, watch this.
Shit! Jesus!
Oh!
Fuck! Ow! I can't see.
What did you do? God, honey.
The next day, Larry is practicing his dance routine as the dance teacher is trying to show him the proper moves. And Larry's like, how can I keep that up? And like you were saying before, like, no one's going to notice, like, if it's going to be that fast. I can't keep up. And
Yeah.
he talks and he confides in Michael. And Michael, he's like, this isn't the tempo of the song, surely. And Michael's like, no, I think it is.
It actually is.
It actually is. You got to dance like in time to that. And they take a 5-minute break. Michael is upset. And Larry's like, what's wrong? You're a bit different today. What's wrong? Michael's down as Rhonda said she is not representing herself, like as a model. Ben walks in with an eye patch as Larry apologizes for the skewer. And Ben says that he has a scratched retina and he calls Larry out to him for not saying happy birthday and not providing a gift. But Larry's like, but you said no gifts. And Ben's like, that's what everyone says. You still got to give a gift. What's your opinion of no gifts? If I said to you, my birthday's coming up, don't worry about gifts, would you still
I would take
provide
you at,
something?
I would take you at your word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't be upset though.
Look, I think you reach a certain age. I think unless it's like a really special event like your wedding or a 50th anniversary, if it's just, hey, I'm having my 34th birthday and I'm having a barbecue with some mates, I think the idea of gifts is just fucking stupid anyway. I'm like,
yeah.
like if someone wanted to bring me something because they wanted to, I'm like, I'd very happily accept it and I would be very appreciative because my friend did this or family did this for me. That's nice. But a person doesn't need to tell me gifts or no gifts. I just assume that there aren't gifts because
Yeah.
at 38 or 42, like, do you want a voucher for JB Hi-Fi or something? You know, it's just like what do you need that you
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
be given? Again, like if it's a special event, different. Like
Yeah.
it's something worth celebrating, and a gift
Or if it's
symbolizes
like, yeah.
that. But if it's your 34th birthday and you're having a barbecue,
Yeah.
who gives a shit?
But
Why-
if it's a
why do you want a
milestone,
gift?
exactly.
Yeah.
If it's like your 30th or 40th or 50th, yeah, get a
Totally,
gift.
but if it's
Like,
just
absolutely.
a random birthday with 10 of your mates having a barbecue or going to the pub and having some beers, it's like I don't need a gift, and I would be confused if my friends expected gifts.
If anything, that's more shit to carry. Because what if you're going to go out for drinks? You know, like I don't want to carry fucking 10 bottles of wine.
yeah, I
put them in the car.
guess
you know?
I just associate gifts with like children more.
Yeah, sure.
And again, gifts are lovely things to give and also to receive.
Of course.
And I've received gifts from friends on birthdays when I had no expectation to or set no expectation
Hmm. Yeah,
to them.
sure.
And it's lovely. But unless someone says a gift is expected, but even
I don't
then,
say
I would
that.
be like, really? Like, why do you need? You're 38. Like, why do you need me to get you a voucher or a T-shirt or whatever
Yeah,
the fuck?
yeah,
Like,
nah.
what are you? A baby?
It's just more
I-
stuff, like because
I
at
ju-
that
I just-
age, you know, most people are doing pretty well at that age. Like, what more do you need? You've
Yeah.
got everything. Like, even for me, like I've got everything I need at home. Like,
And it's also like,
You know.
most people, if they've got a mortgage or a kid or whatever, it's like, a spare $50 could. It's like go spend that on your kid, or
Exactly.
go do something for yourself. Like don't worry about buying me a piece of shit that I won't care about in 3 days. Like,
exactly.
yeah, I think adults and gifts doesn't make sense to me unless again it's a milestone or unless someone just wants to. That's fine.
But pro tip: if people ask you on gifts and you say yeah, say it's Christmas or whatever, gift vouchers, gift cards.
Oh, totally.
I always I get people asking me like relatives Christmas, like because we don't do surprises anymore. You know, we're
Yeah.
too old. It's like, what do you want? What do you want for Christmas? Vouchers.
Yep.
Amazon, Netflix, my subscriptions.
Yep.
Like if I get, like, because last time my father-in-law, he got me for Christmas, because we have like a Kris Kringle in the family. So like instead of buying everyone presents, we got random people, one person.
Buys
Yeah.
another person. Yeah.
And I nominated a Netflix voucher. And we got like 6 months worth of Netflix voucher. Netflix, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
like I have a Netflix account, you punch the gift cards in, I don't pay for 6 months. It's
great.
fucking awesome.
Yep.
It's like that kind of shit.
Yeah,
like,
you reach a certain age where you're like,
Yeah.
what do you want for a gift? You're like, pay some of my bills,
Yeah,
please.
that's it. I have a mortgage.
Yeah.
Pay my Netflix subscription.
A few years ago, I think Mum gave me $200 for Christmas or she just put it straight into my bank account.
And you put it straight into Doge.
No, I wish.
Shiba Inu now.
Yeah.
That's the new one.
Oh, I wish. No, I think I had an electricity bill due or a gas bill due. So I'm like, sweet, that bill's paid.
That's it.
You know, but when you're a teenager, you're like, oh, that's like 7 CDs. But now
That
you're like,
is, man.
sweet, I have to pay less of a bill now. Great.
And you go to Sanity or HMV
Yeah.
and go pick up your CDs like the
Yeah.
old days. Was it HMV?
Yeah,
Yeah,
HMV
and
and
Sanity.
Sanity. Yeah, they were the two main ones.
Those ones, yeah. Those are the days. Anyway, continuing on with the scene, like I said, Ben says he has a scratch retina and he calls Larry out for those two things. Ben says it's bullshit about the no gifts thing and gifts should be given. Ben berates him also for not shaking his hand the other day in the previous episode, and Larry says he's all snot coming out and it's a dry sneeze. I feel like for the character development of, I'm going to say fictional Ben, because I'm sure real life Ben isn't this bad.
No.
I feel like fictional Ben is a bit infantile. I feel like he's like a bit of a man-child. I feel like Christine is the more mature one.
Yep.
And Ben's kind of like the baby, because
Yeah.
even he's like, you didn't get me a gift. You didn't do this. Like,
He's
he kind
very-
of says it in like an infantile kind of way.
Yeah, he's a bit whiny.
He is a bit whiny.
Yeah, he's a bit of a prima donna and a bit whiny.
Yeah.
Bit of a brat.
I feel like he's a bit of a brat.
Yeah, like if-
Well,
I don't know.
fictional Ben, of course.
Look, everyone goes through life and everyone probably every day does things that we don't even realize bothers someone else. Like we'll say something or we accidentally don't shake their hand or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or we might walk in front of them and that's just part of life. Like you incidentally and unknowingly annoy people all the time. But those people don't come to you and say, well, why did you do this or why didn't you do that? You just let it go because, imagine if you brought up every time everyone in your life did something that bothered you slightly or something. Like you would have no friends or family.
No,
You'd just
definitely.
be a whiny little bitch.
You'd be dying alone, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So, Ben's just got it. Like, if he feels bad about it, fine. Like, if he gets pissed off that he didn't get a gift or that Larry didn't shake his hand, that's totally fine. He's allowed to. But you don't have to bring it up. Like, just let it go. Grow up a bit.
Yeah, and that's what I feel as
Yeah,
well.
it's
Like,
just-
I just feel like in this, like, this kind of shows me that Ben's a little bit of a baby.
Yeah,
he's just like when he doesn't get what he wants, he kind of whines.
Yeah, he's a whiner.
Yeah.
He's a prima donna and a whiner.
Yeah. That's the way I feel it. And we see in episode 3, we see. Oh no. Was it episode 3? I think Ben quits the production in episode 3. I think
Yeah,
the next
it's the
one.
next
Yeah.
episode.
So then we see him at his most baby
Yeah.
in that scene. In
Yeah, he
Larry
throws
in
a
the
full
car.
tantrum.
He throws a full baby tantrum.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like he's a bit of a baby
like
too.
a bottle out of the pram.
Yeah, he throws his toys out of the pram.
Yeah.
That's what he does. Like, that's peak Ben.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of snowballed from what we saw last episode where Ben says, I had to audition and I had to think about it
Yeah.
for a while. But Larry just gets
He's already
the
got
lead
a bee
role.
in his bonnet and
He
it's
does,
just
yes.
escalating with all these little things.
And then he's just finding these nitpicky things. He's like, you didn't do this, you
Yeah.
didn't do this, you
Yeah.
didn't do this. He's just really
grow up a bit.
grow up a bit.
Yeah, I got a scratch retina.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I guess that's why you were so preoccupied with that, why you couldn't sing happy birthday.
Ben, I never sing happy birthday. I just feel a little uncomfortable. I'm a little self-conscious singing it. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday.
Stupid,
It is.
stupid
It's a
song.
stupid song.
Right. And also, thanks for no gift, too.
I seem to recall somebody inviting me to a birthday party and saying, no gifts.
Come on, Larry. Everybody knows that's bullshit.
In the next scene, Larry is dancing in his hallway to the same producer's number.
Yep.
The one with the fast tapping, but he's just doing like this random interpretive dance looking thing. They're in his new house. It's the first time we see it.
Yep.
Second time they've moved in 2 years,
Yep.
he says. So,
Yep.
yeah, every season seems to be a new house.
New house. It's a nice house.
Yeah, it is a nice house. You notice how because Kim walks in the door with her show reel and headshots for Larry to check out and stuff. And Larry's like, yeah, we moved. And, second time in 2 years, we had a film crew in the front yard. Larry says he has to get a book for Kim to give Richard. And Kim says she's got a boob job within an hour. She lifts her shirt and asks Larry to feel them to his horror. So she grabs his hands and puts them on Larry's breasts. She grabs Larry's hands and puts them on Kim's breasts, her breasts. And Cheryl is in the backyard and looks on in disgust as they both turn to her. Now, I mentioned Harvey Weinstein in the casting couch and stuff. I feel like it was in this time, all this stuff, like we all knew the casting couch was like a thing. We all knew producers, like aspiring actors and actresses doing things for the producers to get roles. You know, that was like the joke,
Yep.
right, in Hollywood. But the Harvey Weinstein saga, Me Too movement kind of came out and made it, you know, public and reality.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, I said it a bit earlier in the piece, but I think Kim is probably thinking that maybe for me to get these roles, I'll have to perform things like this.
Right.
So maybe that's why she's open to Larry touching her breasts.
Okay.
And maybe she'll think maybe it'll lead on to something. Do you think that might be the case? Or do you think maybe she's just like a naive person who's like, oh, look, you know, like sometimes you get like little kids who'll say, oh, look at my muscles, grab my arm, you know,
Yeah.
or they'll be like, look at this.
I think
you
she's
know?
just really, I wouldn't say she's naive. I just think she's really just comfortable with nudity.
Okay,
And,
right.
And that nudity doesn't have to be sexual necessarily.
Yeah, sure.
You know, maybe she's naive to the fact of, hey, maybe this man doesn't want to touch my breasts, you know, in his own house. Like maybe that's, you know, it's a bit inappropriate.
Yeah. Well, they didn't know Cheryl was
No,
in the yard.
I
though.
don't think she's doing it deliberately. I'm going to get him to touch my breasts to get more roles. I don't think it's strategy.
Because that's what I thought at first. I thought maybe she thought maybe I've been trying to go for auditions and I don't quite have the talent. Maybe I've got to do this to kind of get Larry interested in me. I don't know. That was just like...
I mean, she's definitely
Yeah.
she's definitely taking advantage of the fact that her unofficial uncle knows Larry. Like,
Yeah,
she's definitely
yeah.
leaning into that
Yeah.
and trying to get something out of it. But I don't think she's using her breasts as a way to do that.
Okay, yeah,
I
but
think-
look,
I
that
think-
was the way I first saw it.
I
but-
completely understand it
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's a similar dynamic. You know, it's a younger woman, you know, a new actress, breast implants, an old experienced man who's got a lot of power in Hollywood. Like the dynamic fits, you know, what you're thinking.
and supposedly alone in the house.
Yeah, I just don't think that that's her agenda.
Okay, fair enough.
I think
Yeah, yeah,
she's.
yeah.
I think yes, she's trying to take advantage of the fact that now she's got a personal connection with Larry, get ahead. She's trying to break into Hollywood.
Sure.
I think most people would do that, but I don't think she's using her breasts and making him feel her breasts as a way to do that. I think she's just comfortable with nudity and doesn't think that it's a big deal. It's like, yeah, you touch my breasts. It's not like a inappropriate sexual creepy thing. It's just, yeah, tits. Who cares?
Oh,
Like,
fair
just-
enough.
I don't know. Just I think part of what you're saying is correct in that
Yeah.
she's. But I just don't think the breasts are part of it.
I thought she was just trying to, like, my interpretation of it was she was trying to be more open to Larry. So maybe she'll be like, what more do you want for me to get this role or something?
No, I don't think
know.
I don't think that's her agenda.
That's her
It
agenda?
doesn't-
Okay.
That doesn't. Again, like I think she's.
All right.
I
I
think she's-
misread the entire scene.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm right and you're wrong. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that we
Nah.
disagree on what her goals are and what her
Yeah, right.
agenda is.
Yeah.
I just think yes, she's trying to use Larry to get ahead, but purely just because she knows him, not
Yeah.
because she's not trying to use her breasts or the fact that she's a young, attractive woman
Right,
as
okay.
a way to do that.
Fair
I think
enough.
that's just a coincidence.
It's just a coincidence. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. That's probably the better explanation.
I
Yeah.
don't know, I just had no signal or no. I mean, you don't see much of her. She's in two scenes very briefly, but I just had no inkling that she was thinking that.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, maybe I'll use my sexuality and my
Yeah.
body to
get
do
roles.
that because I
Yeah.
think I have to.
Yeah,
Or
because
think
I thought
can.
maybe, because I was thinking maybe in the past she went for a role and then a producer said, you got to do this
Yep.
for the role. Like maybe
Yeah.
she thought, oh, maybe that's what I got to do.
Yeah.
And maybe, like, that's the way I interpreted it.
And look-
that's why she was so forward about it.
And look, Curb obviously crosses a lot of boundaries,
Yeah.
and Larry says and does something. But I can't imagine Larry trying to work that as a legitimate dynamic into Curb.
Yeah, okay.
Like because that was such a.
It was like a hidden, like a dirty little, it's like a well-known secret
Yeah, exactly.
in Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah,
Even
I
back
just
then.
think I just think to even in 2004,
Yeah.
to work that into, and that sort of like places the responsibility on the girl,
Yeah.
rather than the creepy old producers.
Yeah,
I just don't.
yeah.
I think even that would just be a bit too like, nah, that's just fucked up.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
So I just couldn't see Larry doing that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay, I like your take better.
Yeah.
Larry is being accosted by Cheryl as he claims that Kim grabbed his hands and put them on her breasts. And Cheryl says, that's your sex.
Yeah.
That's your 10th anniversary sex.
Yeah.
Touching breasts is sex.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, oh, sorry, you go first.
No, I think Cheryl, even though she says, like, in theory, she's okay with, Larry fucking another woman because she doesn't think it'll happen. And she also says, well, I did, she's generally an honest woman with integrity. So she's like, well, I did say that 10 years ago, so I'm going to stick to my word.
Yeah, but she
when-
didn't think Larry would do it, though.
Well, yeah, I think she was okay with it in theory because she thought it would never even happen,
Yes,
that he wouldn't even be
yes.
able to, like, have a conversation with a woman.
And that's
But-
suddenly this woman like half his age,
and
you know.
it's like-
just-
and even though Larry was correct, it's not like he touched her breast. Like
Yeah.
she got his hands and put them on there, and he was in such shock he didn't really know what to do.
yeah.
Even just seeing that,
Yeah.
Cheryl's just like, oh my god, like
See,
she
yeah.
can't. All of a sudden, she can't handle the
Yeah.
fact that
See, yeah.
Larry might actually fuck someone.
Yeah, seeing this cute girl like half his age, you know, and then Cheryl's like looking. Again, because I think that's the moment where Cheryl realizes, oh my God, Larry's going to probably do it with her.
Yeah.
She'll probably be the 10th anniversary
Yeah,
one.
it makes it real.
Yeah, it does. And then Cheryl doesn't like it.
It takes
Doesn't
it from
like
a fun idea of like, well, this will be fun to sort of screw with Larry for a bit because it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sort of just like, it's almost like a bit of a, you know, a mind game in a way because he thinks he can and she's like, yeah, it's fine. But she also knows he won't or can't. But as soon as any contact is made with any other girl, it makes it real and it's hard to confront. And that's why I think she's like, well, that counts as sex.
Yeah, that counts as sex.
Because she can't handle the idea of anything more. Like that.
No.
That's it. Like, that's
it.
sex.
Yep.
You know, it's done.
Yeah,
deal.
so, and it comes back, like, it's back to earth for Cheryl.
Yeah.
Cheryl's like, oh no, I don't want Larry to do this.
Yeah, like it's
I
a
don't
fun
want this.
idea in my mind.
Yeah.
But I don't actually want it to happen.
No.
Which
She's
is
become
understandable.
very protective, yeah. Definitely.
It's a similar thing where people think that maybe their ideas are open to the idea of like an open relationship or having a threesome or you know something where another person is involved sexually. In their head, they're like as a fantasy or as an idea, they're like.
But then
well,
they do it.
And they do it, and they're just like the reality is totally different.
Yeah,
they can't
it's
get their
not
head
right.
around it. So it's it makes sense why Cheryl would be like, hang on a minute, like
Larry
no.
could actually go ahead with this.
Yeah,
with this girl.
I can't handle
Yeah.
it. Like
Yeah,
in
yeah.
my mind, it's fun because
Yeah.
Larry's going to be stumbling over himself to have sex with a woman, and that's just fun. You know, it's comedic to observe.
But now he's
But now that it's
he's gotten to
real-
like first base, basically. Yeah.
She's like, no, it's too much.
Can't do it. Oh, no, more like second base.
Yeah, I think first
Touching
base
his
is
breasts.
kissing.
Yeah, and then touching.
second base is breasts, and third base is downstairs, and fourth base is
Is the home run. The home run, basically.
Fourth base, home run. Yeah,
Yeah, home run. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so I think that's what it is too.
That's,
I think
that's the one takeaway I've gotten from American teen movies is the bases and what they mean. That's about
right.
it.
The baseball euphemisms. And I agree. I feel like Cheryl then realizes, oh my God, Larry is close. Like that's the start.
Yep.
And let's see what it could have led on if I didn't see him.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
So for her, it's like him touching breasts. You know, again, not even by his own volition. That was too much. So how will it be if he actually does sleep with someone? Like, so that's why she's like, well, this is it.
This is it. That's your sex.
That's your sex.
That's sex.
And it's not sex.
No, it's not. Nowhere near sex.
If that was sex, I would have lost my virginity a lot earlier.
Oh my God, I would have lost my virginity when I was like 12. Or whatever.
Yeah.
I would have lost my virginity a long time
Yeah.
ago.
You mean you weren't having orgies at 12?
You weren't having full Roman orgies? What? Actually, in Rome, they were probably doing that at that age. Oh, my God. Anything went back then. Oh, my God. Anyway, as they're talking, Larry spots a mouse running on the floor, and he says, "Tit mouse!" And he jumps on the bar. And Cheryl asks, why does he call it a tit mouse? You're obsessed with tits.
Isn't a titmouse a bird?
No, tit mouse is a mouse.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay. I
Yeah.
must be thinking of something else.
Yeah. No, it's a titty cock. I think it's a titty cock.
Titty cock?
I think that's a bird.
Probably.
And there's also a bird called a shag.
Shag, yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Shag on a rock. No, I think it was like a titty something. Yeah. There's
titty mouse.
a titty bird.
I'm going to look this up. Keep talking.
Yeah. But Cheryl says that he is obsessed with tits, which he is.
Yeah.
And Larry claims that the boy next to him said tits and not him, and Cheryl doesn't believe it. No. She's like, you've played telephone before, right? And Cheryl's like, yeah, I've played the G-rated version. We'd say stuff like, Susie lives down the lane, you know? You know, G-rated stuff. The phone rings, and it's a call from Michael, and Larry heads over to Michael's house.
No, it is a bird.
Oh, a titmouse is a bird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a blue. You're showing me the picture now. It is
Yeah,
a blue bird.
It looks like a blue jay.
It does look like a blue jay,
Yeah,
except it's like a silver grey.
It's like a grey blue jay.
Yeah.
It's got the
a
same
blue
little-
grey, a grey jay.
A grey jay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so titmouse is a bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Awesome.
So he didn't even get the species right.
He didn't.
he just
associated mouse
Mouse
with
and
tits.
tit, yeah.
There you go.
Tit
So
mouse.
that's what it is. Thanks for checking that out, man. I would have racked my brain for hours.
Yep.
Thanks, man. Anyway, I was just saying the phone rings. He heads over to Michael's house. At Michael's house, he says that he dumped Rhonda because she wasn't good looking, and he asked Larry to help him find another girlfriend. The scene cuts to them at like a montage. So they go to the supermarket, the laundromat. Larry, to owe it to Michael for what happened, he kind of helps him out. His daily tasks.
The producer or the director in this season so far really likes montages. There was a little montage in the last episode
Yeah.
when he's waiting in the doctor's office.
That's right.
And now this one where he's helping Michael out.
Well, Larry Charles directed it, a Seinfeld writer from the
Right.
earlier seasons. Yeah, Larry Charles, I think, directed.
True. Well, they do a lot of montages in Seinfeld, so that makes sense.
That does make sense, yes.
There have been a few montages in previous seasons, but
Yeah.
not back to back.
No, not back to back, but no, former Seinfeld writer Larry Charles. He directed, I think, at least the first 2 episodes from memory. From what I saw. Yeah, so there you go. That's his shtick, I suppose. Larry asked Jeff. So him and Michael go to Jeff's house. Larry asked Jeff if he can buy a shirt for Ben, as Ben claims to have liked him. Jeff asked why he didn't drop the skewer on the table. Larry says he saw 5 other people with skewers hanging around. They were holding skewers, so I'm fine. It's always like, I can't do no wrong. Susie walks out and Larry asks to buy a shirt for him, quote unquote. It's actually for Ben. Susie opens her trunk and picks out a red Indiana shirt for his pasty skin. Susie is happy and offers him a shirt for free, usually $100, which is good.
Larry is a bit offended by the fact that when Susie said pasty, he's like, I get sun.
I get you too. Well, Larry, we find out in the next episode he uses sunblock. He's got in his car, so
True.
he does get sun for sure for his pasty skin. Larry walks into rehearsals with Michael and he gives Ben the shirt as a belated present. Ben apologizes for his behavior due to stress for being part of the producers. So, Ben's kind of thought about it upon reflection and said, you know what, I've been an asshole.
I would say that Christina said, hey, you got to...
Yeah, Christine is like the head on, like the good head on the shoulders.
I think Ben
probably one
agrees
of
with-
his baby rants.
I don't think Ben is being insincere. I think he realizes, hang on, I am carrying on a bit.
Yeah.
But I think Christine made him realize that.
Yeah, I think Christine seems very level-headed.
Yeah. I don't think it's a case of Christine's like, Ben, this is something you have to do. And Ben's like, I don't understand, but I'll do it anyway.
Yeah.
I think he just needed Christine to make him realize what a baby he was being.
What a baby he was being. So that kind of mends the relationship a little
Yeah.
bit. And he gives Ben the shirt, and Ben's like, okay, thanks. Larry grabs a script as he doesn't know the lines off the book for that scene. So he still doesn't know the lines. It's like, do you need a script, Larry? Yeah, I'll need one. And they begin to practice the scene as it cuts. In the final scene of this episode, Michael is performing at his gig, and he's wearing the Indiana shirt, if you notice that.
Yep.
So Ben must have given it to Michael.
Yep.
Yeah. Larry and Ben are drinking, and there's a few other people in the audience as well. Michael is wearing Ben's shirt. Susan berates Larry as people like about the shirt because she's like, he supposedly bought it for him, but Michael's wearing the shirt. He gave it to a fucking blind guy.
Yeah, they're all giving each other looks across the audience.
Like, let's go.
Larry, like Larry's like to Ben, and Ben's like, about the shirt. Larry's
That's
like,
right.
why'd you give him the shirt? And Ben's like, whatever. Like,
And then
fuck-
Susie's fucking giving him the dead eyes.
they're all communicating non-verbally across
to
across
Larry.
the audience.
Yeah. Everyone who's in the episode,
And then
basically.
then they all start leaving.
They'll say they leave. Cheryl wants to leave, and Larry's like, just after this song. And Cheryl's like, I can't take it anymore, so she walks off. Larry's the only one left in the bar, and he watches on with Michael poorly playing the show tunes. I mean, it's a brilliant, for like musicals, he's brilliant at...
He's a great pianist, just a bad singer.
Bad singer.
And
Terrible
he's-
singer.
Yeah, and just really like, there's just something off.
Really, really corny, yes. And that is the end of the episode. So out of 5 Larry's, buddy, what do you give it?
I give this one 4.
Me too, 4. I enjoyed this one more than the first episode.
Yeah,
liked it. It sets up his, it adds another element to Ben's character as well. He's not like always the high and mighty, the right one.
Yep.
He has his flaws too. His baby rants. So
Yeah.
he has that as well. Yeah, and I really thought it was a good episode. I'm sure we'll see Kim in future episodes as well. We'll see what that leads to. Maybe more things will happen, which might lead to it, or maybe I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I just thought the writing was really strong.
It was, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Really fast-paced, a lot of moving parts, handled really well. And, the first episode of a season is always an establishing one, and this one was less of that and more exploration of what they've already set up.
Yep, for sure.
Just really good.
Really good, for sure. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Hope you had a good time. That was another episode of Curbcast, and you can find us on social media at CurbcastPod, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Reddit. And we do have a couple of Facebook community groups, so if you like Seinfeld, go to Seinfeld-isms. You can share all your favourite Seinfeld quotes, memes, and all that kind of stuff, yada, yada, yada. And we have one for Curb Your Enthusiasm called Curb Your Enthusiasms on Facebook. No, that is not a typo. That's what it is.
Yes.
So check that out if you want to talk about memes and quotes and, reminisce about episodes.
That's right. All those details are in the show notes.
Yes. Be sure to leave us a review as well on your favourite podcast service, Apple, Spotify, yada, yada, yada. 5 stars preferably, but whatever you think is right. Those reviews really do help with the algorithm with trying to find us as well. So if you do type Curb Your Enthusiasm, the more reviews we get and ratings we get, we'll end up higher on the list. So, there's over 2 million podcasts now on Apple, so we could easily be lost amongst many other ones. So, if you think, you want to give us a bit more exposure, that helps us as well. Even just leaving a 5 stars.
That would be lovely.
That would be fantastic. My name is Ivan.
And I'm Stephen.
And we'll catch you next week with Habus in the blind date.
I love Hubbles.
Me too. Very relevant for the time, huh?
Yeah, totally.
The geopolitical,
Yep.
US geopolitics.
We'll elaborate a bit next week.
Indeed. Take care of yourselves and each other. Catch you then with Habus. Thanks for listening. This podcast is part of Mishmash Media, an independent podcast network. Follow us on social media at Mishmash Media AU or support us on Patreon. All those links are in the show notes.